right, so this is Ian's work, and so looking at the work, first of all, the first thing I'm going to say right off the bat is um, that you've got the everything too even, and what I mean by that is if you look at this, we're just going to show you. So if you look at this, it's everything is kind of evenly got that even spaced priority going on, and then even that has kind of mid peaks where for the most part everything just kind of lies evenly underneath it. So in order to kind of adjust that and I think fix that aspect is to what I would say right off the bat is to kind of adjust the idea of it a little bit more. So what I would say right off the bat, I'm just going to grab some of your concept here, and let's add a little bit of this here, and I'm just going to grab some of this, pound that in there. What else can we do here? Let's grab some of this. And I'm just going to kind of make this a little bit wider. Shorten that a little bit. Start by breaking things up a little bit more instead of having everything so even. The problem is you've just got you've got these everything's perfectly spaced together, and what you want to do is kind of build this so that it's got a little bit more interest into it, if that's what you want to call it. Just and it's simple stuff. Just by taking some of this stuff and filling it up a little bit. Let's grab some of that. It's a little bit too bright, but you know, breaking it up a little bit more kind of helps create that natural look instead of everything is this just basic generic um, feeling to it. The next thing that I would say right off the bat is that you want to get a sense of lighting. Even though you've got like kind of daylight sunlight, give it a sense of where things are coming from. So over here is the lighter area, and what I would say right off the bat is just by putting in just some simple some simple lighting tones here, that starts bringing out the interest and says, oh hey, look, this is a lot more interesting now. You've got a lighting value here, and then it doesn't have to be as dark. Like, I get you're going darker, but to get to this point you're black and saturated. You can actually get in there and go a little bit more saturated as things come up next to you. That's a little bit too dark, but you get the kind of the point. So also get some shadows in there. So even if it's just basic, lighting like so, having those shadows in there is much more interesting. And the other aspect is you have everything on even planes. Put things out a little bit more. And just kind of add that aspect to having it so it's not so in your face, all in your face on even ground. So that's something that you can kind of play with a little bit too, is just changing the mentality of where things are located. Now the waterfall feels kind of awkward, especially since you don't really see any of it. It's, you know, it's not coming from anywhere. So what I would say is, I would say, you know, add in where the river is coming from and go even a little bit darker to give you that idea of depth. Not that it's just happening from nowhere. Um, you know, give that river a little bit of a path so you can see where things are going. And maybe it's, you know, leads up to a waterfall up here or something like that. Let the viewer kind of go in there. The problem you have is everything's focused on this area right here. Um, Everything's focused on this area right here. And there's really nothing for me to look at anything beyond there. I mean, everything points to this kind of process. I can even kind of show you here. Everything points to this process, and you've really got nothing going on here. Um, you know, that's where I'm looking at. So in all reality, what I would do is I would have some fun with it, and maybe even, you know, maybe even let's put a little bit more noise up here, and then, you know, put a little bit of more information in there, and then, you know, have some sense of scale in here. Maybe you've got a ship in here, or you know, maybe a rope bridge. You know, there's a reason why people are working here, and the waterfall is just, you know, part of it. Give me something else to look in here. You know, even if you just have a rope bridge, we'll take some of this brown, and you have, you know, things like this, and then have a couple figures in there, you know, and yeah, it's simple. It's a stick figure, but now I've got an idea of the you know, what's happening in there. Something is going on. Don't just kind of have that landscape. And it also gives me a sense of scale on how big this chasm is. You know, a tinier figure would make this look more enormous. So things like that, those are things that you really want to pay attention to when you're kind of creating a scene. What is your focal point? And right now, without it, it's just a simple waterfall. Whereas if I put a bridge in there, and I can go in here and put, you know, maybe some posts in here and things like this, we'll just kind of, you know, break this up a little bit. And then, you know, even if you added in, I don't know, say let's add in just a light wood color. You know, something as simple as this, you know, now it looks a little bit more interesting. You know, something's happening. Maybe instead they've got, you know, a path going. Let's grab some of this kind of muted color here. Maybe they've got a path going, you know, through here, and that changes up your idea, your concept as well. I mean, you know, putting in that path kind of gives you the sense of, let's grab some of the screen here. So putting that path in there gives you a sense of, you know, now it's a travel area. Something's going on. You know, and that's really where your focal point lies. You've got the rule of thirds going on well. You just need to have something to look at, not just a big hole, because it feels kind of boring when you're looking at just a big empty hole. Whereas if I've got something to look in there, it's a lot more interesting. All right, so I hope that helps.